The Ravens Commanders game. That was a good one. That was one I was excited about. I had that on my must see TV list last week. Obviously, we got Lamar versus Jayden Daniels and similar style quarterbacks, but even more than that, just two good teams. So wanted to see, and then of course the Baltimore DC thing. That's a big thing. So and first time the Commanders have been, competitive in quite some time. So very interested to see how this matchup would go. Two hot teams and who would come out on top. And it pretty much lived up to it. Ravens came out victorious 30-23 in the end. But it was a back and forth first half. The Ravens ended up pulling away by about 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. And then the Commanders ended up just making a late fourth quarter run to kind of put some pressure on the Ravens. But too little, too late there. Um, my biggest takeaway from this game is that it's levels. It is levels. Jaden Daniels, I don't think um, he wasn't suppressed by the moment. He played well. He's played well in all of his games so far, and it didn't feel like, this is my first, semi big matchup. Here I go. But I mean, this is a guy who went into Cincinnati, who's not doing so well right now, but went into Cincinnati in a night game, as tough as it is to play there and beat them. So I don't think he was intimidated at all by going up in a 1 o'clock game against Baltimore on the road. They played darn well, and man, he made some throws that were just like that touchdown throw in the corner to Terry McLaurin. I think it was on like fourth down. It was like, yeah, fourth and goal. It was a crazy throw, crazy catch. Um, I have a lot of confidence in Jaden Daniels, but overall, the Ravens just look like the more experienced team. They look like the more poised team overall, and you could tell the Ravens are just on another level. Although they're, the I think now, yeah, they have the same record, 4-2, but the Ravens, got off to a 0-2 start, and the Redskins kind of started out hot. But when the two went head to head, it looked like the Ravens just looked like the slightly better team in that game. My other big takeaway from that was Derrick Henry. It's time to give him Mariano Rivera status. He is like, you don't see it all that often, and a lot of times you see it with quarterbacks. They like Tom Brady game winning drives type of thing, but he is like a real deal NFL closer. Like when they have the lead, give the ball to Derrick Henry. You can't stop him. You can't stop him. I sat there and watched again. Like I said, the Commanders kept putting pressure on the Ravens to kind of close that game out, and Derrick Henry did exactly that. And I think Lamar and Henry have lived up to what we expected from that running duo. I mean, they are as lethal as it gets. Who do you go and take on the option? And then, you got these jet sweeps, reverses, or whatever, with where you add Zay Flowers into it. Just these quick speedster guys, man. They are really tough to stop. But I think King Henry is the best closer in the NFL, and that's not a title you see all that often, especially with running backs. But that's a team you better hope you are up late in the game, because good luck stopping Derrick Henry at the end. And the Ravens are a team, again, keep referencing this contenders pretenders list. I had the Ravens on my contenders list, um, even though they got off to that 0-2 start. I just felt like they were having trouble closing out games. One of their losses was to the Ravens. It was just like, okay, what are we even doing here? And then you had that first week loss to Kansas City. In Kansas City, week one, tough game, tough place to play. And so, even you saw in the Cowboys game where they went up big and then almost let them come back. So they were having trouble finishing, but that was obviously fixable, and they seem to have fixed it. They've rung off four straight wins since the second week of the season. So, and they're the number one team in the division. So, all the confidence in the world with the Ravens. I think they are going to be in the thick of things, and they still look like a difficult team to beat. So, can't wait to see the rest of their season and where they end up. But that was Ravens Commanders. Great game in week